Hello, today we're going to dive into strategic planning for cybersecurity in the small to medium-sized business world. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about our JEI Tech stack. We're going to highlight the key areas that we focus on, why we do it, and how we use those areas to protect our clients. There are only two different types of companies in the world, those that have been breached and know it, and those that have been breached and don't know it, by Ted Slang. Recently, there's been an increase in questions from our clients as cybersecurity awareness has risen. JEI Tech is excited that awareness is growing, and regardless of how or who or when you gain this new awareness, we'd like to dive into some of the lessons that we have learned with our own events and how we're doing our best to prevent any future threats. So who are we? JEI Tech was established by John and Leanne in 2006 with the goal of providing support for businesses when it came to their IT. Business IT. We are based in High River. We had a major cyber event in 2017, and I'll dive a little bit more details into that later, but it was a great learning moment and has taught us a lot. I am Scott Coleman. I'm the operations manager at JEI Tech. I started with the company in 2016 and worked as a technician for 5 years before moving to team lead and then management. I've been in the IT industry since 2014 and worked for a large multinational IT company for several years before coming to JEI Tech. There's no silver bullet with cybersecurity. A layered defense is the only viable option, by James Scott. Our primary goal is to provide managed technology solutions to our customers. We have a lot of tools and services in our toolbox to help businesses, but our primary goal is to establish an ongoing relationship and tailor the IT security and needs to your business. We want IT to be a part of your business growth and efficiency, not a hindrance or a cost center. Most businesses today cannot operate without IT, and if the IT stops working, so does the business. So back to that event in 2017, we had a client that was in the process of setting up some of our new recommended services. We are upgrading them from a standard regular old router to a UTM or Unified Threat Management Firewall. We have deployed our backup services on the day they accepted our new services, and the new firewall was here in our office being configured when our backup alert device that we had deployed alerted us that a large number of files had been changed. Roughly about 5 to 10 minutes later, we had a phone call from the client to say that they had a ransom message on their computer screens. We immediately quarantined and shut down their network and started our process of investigation. The client chose not to use cyber insurance, but rather to revert to our backup as we had one an hour previous to the event. During our investigation, we found the router had exposed the server and two other computers directly to the internet for remote access. This was the point of entry to their network, and on the new firewall, obviously we turned those off and required a VPN to access any internal resources. That VPN is also protected with multi-factor authentication. In my previous experience at the other IT company I worked for, I had learned that really the only way forward is to go scorched earth. So we wiped every single computer and server that had been affected, and then we used the backup from that hour previous to the attack to restore just the data, nothing else. And we scanned every file for any malicious content before restoring it. In total, the client was operational again in about 6 hours, but this was a really eye-opening event and taught us a lot. Firstly, we had a good recommended antivirus on all of the computers, but that did not stop the attack. The backup we had implemented did work, but it did not stop the attack. And the only way forward was a layered defense. So let's take a look at that layered defense. These are our solutions and recommendations. Firstly, what's not on this slide, cyber insurance. JEI Tech does not sell cyber insurance, but we do review it with our clients on a regular basis. As incidents in the cyber world have gone up, insurance has become a lot more granular and their coverage has gone down. So firstly, make sure that you have cyber insurance. And secondly, make sure that you have reviewed and know what it does and doesn't cover. For example, we have a customer that has a imaging piece of equipment that's in excess of $20,000. Their cyber insurance had a replacement clause if something was to happen to their equipment, but it only covered them for $20,000. So one piece of their equipment would have been replaced, but nothing else in their office did if an event did happen. After reviewing it with the customer and looking at all of the details of their cyber policy, it was $285 per year to upgrade to a much higher policy that gave them over $200,000 replacement value. For that business, it was a no-brainer, but nobody had sat down and looked at it. Now let's get into the things that we at JEI Tech can implement. The first one is network protection. You don't build a building without a front door, and you don't build a yard without a gate. Why? Because you want to know who's coming in and going out at what times and what's going on in your building. Well, your network should be no different. You need to have a hardware level firewall on the network that allows you to know what's coming in from the internet and what's going out. Your switches and Wi-Fi are also like doors and filing cabinets in your office. You need to organize and make sure you know who has access to what and where it is. Increasingly, IoT, Internet of Things, or smart devices are being added to networks, and they're great. They provide a huge amount of insight to devices or things that you were doing manually before, but they are also a major security risk. As you put them on your network, you are opening your network up to those devices. For example, there are well-known and documented cases of smart thermostats being used as an entry point to a network, or printers. Ensuring that those devices are segmented off onto their own things, onto their own network or own Wi-Fi can go a long way to making sure that you don't compromise your network with a smart device. Backups are only slightly less important than oxygen. I don't remember where I heard that from, but I love it. Making sure that your data is backed up, not just on your computer, but also your cloud data is important. JEI Tech offers backups of your cloud data in your email, OneDrive, or Google Drive for multiple times a day with retention of up to 7 years. The cloud is just someone else's computer. Did you know that Microsoft actually recommends third-party backup of its services in its terms and conditions? Most cloud services only guarantee the last 30 days of information. If your email was gone tomorrow, except for the last 30 days of email, would you be okay? Would anybody in your business be okay if their email was gone? Endpoint protection. The laptops, computers, and often overlooked cell phones and mobile devices in a business need to be protected too, not just with antivirus, but with layered defense. We use MDR and EDR, managed detection and response, or endpoint detection and response, paired with a security operations center for 24/7 monitoring and action. We also use and recommend application control, which is just a default deny before anything even gets to that antivirus. It won't allow any application that's not pre-approved or known to run in an environment. Our endpoint protection also ensures that updates are run on a regular basis, not just on the operating system like Windows or Mac, but also common applications like Chrome and Adobe. On our computers, those updates run on a nightly basis, and on servers, we have them set to run on a weekly basis. But what about performance? Do you know how well a computer or server has been performing? If you're finding it slow, is there something running in the background that's making it slow? We have seen where a malicious piece of software, if you open Task Manager, would self-close itself so you didn't know it was slowing your computer down. Our endpoint protection also has monitoring over time that allows us to see how the CPU, the RAM, the hard drive are all performing on a computer. to see if a computer is running slow or working harder than it should be. And lastly, cloud protection. We covered this a little bit in the backup section, but as people have increasingly moved their stuff to cloud applications, you are relying on a third party to ensure that your data is intact and available. If you're using cloud file storage solutions and uploading files from your cell phone, those files likely aren't being scanned by an antivirus. What about email? Are you receiving a lot of spam or junk and phishing emails? Did you know that in 2023, 90% of the attacks originated via email? 90%. JEI Tech uses a state-of-the-art filter called Avanon to protect against spam and phishing attempts, but it also scans files in the cloud for threats. So even if it hasn't been scanned by an antivirus as it's being uploaded from a device, it will get scanned in the cloud by our cloud filtering service. Our cloud filtering service also monitors for login attempts, specifically ones that happen from out of country. With the right licensing, we can prevent any login attempts from outside of North America by default, with exceptions for people who travel, but more importantly, alert to those logins. Now, none of these solutions are static, and not one solution is perfect for every business. We have over 15 different options when it comes to firewalls we use to ensure that the right size, right price, right needs of your business are met when we're keeping you protected. When JEI Tech starts working with your business, we'll sit down with you to understand your business needs and challenges, plan out the changes and security measures that we need to put in place to protect it, implement them, but then analyze and continue to monitor those solutions to make sure they are what your business needs. If they aren't, or if they are, we continue to review those with you on a regular basis. Depending on your business size and your preference, we can meet with you on a monthly, quarterly, annual, biannual process meeting, but we will meet with you to make sure that everything that we are supplying, every solution that we have put in place is working for your business and helping your business move forward. This approach has served our business and our customers well for the last 18 years. As with all technology, it's constantly changing, but it has allowed us not only to secure and support our customers, but to grow and stay in business. One fact I am very proud of is that every service and solution that we offer and recommend to businesses is in place at our company. We are a small business. We understand the balancing act we all have to walk of understanding the risk and not taking cybersecurity seriously to implementing too much that may impact your business either financially or in efficiency. While these things will secure your devices and network, it will also increase the efficiency of your operation and staff, minimize the downtime and stress related to IT, allow you to plan upgrades and updates rather than let them happen and suddenly stuff isn't working. And all of these things allow you to focus on your business, not your IT, making IT work for you and your business. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, let me know.